Greetings to one and all. This day, I would like to deliver a short, brief oral presentation on how to prepare a resume. What are the important components to be included in a resume? So, it is actually pronounced as resume. So, resumes are basically a very powerful self-marketing tool, and it's like a personal advertisement, job skills showcase, so personal brand identity. They would finally stand as your own personal brand identity. So the irony is the average recruiter gives, in general, your resume approximately maximum 10 to 20 seconds, that's all. Unbelievable, but this is true for the initial review. So then what can you do? You should create a very impressive and powerful resume. So a resume is always misrepresented as CV. CV is entirely different. A resume is never called a CV. CV is used in academic and research-oriented, scientific research-oriented job searches. A CV is a flexible length. It can comprise many pages. It can include minutest details also about the job description, what is the exact role you played. But a resume is entirely different. A CV is a record of your academic accomplishments and credentials. But a resume is used in business, non-profit and government and other types of job searches. A resume should be maximum 2 pages. A resume is not all embarrassing. That means it doesn't include all minutest details in a job profile what you have done. So it should be targeted to a particular job in a particular field. That means all freshers should prefer a resume only. It is never called a CV. A CV's purpose is entirely different, which is used only for scientific research job profiles. That's all. A CV can comprise any number of pages. It can include all minutest details. So a CV is entirely different from resume. So as a fresher, as an engineering student, a candidate who is going to apply for any job should prefer only resume. So 3 styles of resumes are there. Chronological, every detail mentioned in reverse chronological order. It's the most used one. Emphasizes your career progression by focusing on job titles, dates and duties. Functional resume focuses only on skills. So a fresher doesn't have any experience. So a fresher prefers obviously a functional resume. As the word functional says, it highlights what you can do rather than what you did in the previous job because you don't have any experience. It focuses on skills, not experience history. So combination. So this type of resume, it combines a few features from chronological and many features from functional. So balance to focus on skills as well as accomplishments with your work history, and good for people who change careers. Fine. This is the most important thing. Sections of your resume. What details should be included in your resume? The first one is heading. As you all know, it contact details, LinkedIn profile, URL, information, mobile number, etc. everything. So next one, the most important part is career objective. Next, educational details. Next, technical skills, projects, internships if you have, co-curricular activities if you have, extracurricular activities, memberships and personal details. Last one is purely optionals. Once you can go through, these all things are enough to mention. Next, heading. As you can see, there are different styles in arranging the heading. Whichever style a candidate or a fresher or a student follows, it should be very clearly visible without any gaudy fonts and etc. So email should be definitely a professional one, not a gaudy one, not a fancy one to choose. Mobile number as well as LinkedIn profile, or you can choose this way or this way, any style which is eye-soothing and pleasant to see in the resume. Next one is career objective. So what is an objective statement? A short section, usually maximum 3 lines, often in the form of a sentence fragment, immediately below your contact information. So at a glance picture it gives of you and your career interests now. other names: professional objective, career objective. Some in European countries they call it as resume capsule, career goals, etc. Whatever it is safe to use objective or career objective. That's enough. Now the $1,000,000 question is, should I follow mentioning it as, should I write as a career objective, or can I skip to another modern style, that is, can I mention it as a profile or summary? See, like CV is entirely different from resume, an objective statement is entirely different from professional or profile summary. Objective, it's brief but specific statement outlining the type of employment or exact position one is seeking or applying for. But whereas profile or summary, whatever you call it as, it details strengths and experiences. That means the word experiences, it says that it is always preferred by experienced candidates but not by freshers. Like an engineering student, first he is going to apply for the job freshly. So it details strengths, experiences, interests and skills that one has to offer the employer. Employer means the organization which is going to recruit him or her. So profile or summary is entirely different from objective statement. So as a fresher, as an engineering student applying for different jobs, it is always suitable to use objective, career objective only, because when we go through with different resumes, we often encounter this profile or summary, a brief or sometimes a big paragraph. So it is always, this is the reason why you should choose objective, career objective, but not profile or summary. A summary is a detailed list of what you have already done in a different organization. It is preferred by only experienced candidates. So as a fresher, this type of heading is not necessary. So a good objective statement, it shall answer some questions. See, objective statement, career objective statement is not something which can be just randomly copied from a source and put it. One has to take a lot of care, because resume is something you are giving. It's like your question paper, you are giving it to someone else. Anything, whatever you write it, mention it, you are going to be responsible for it. So you need to be very careful in preparing a very specific, impressive objective. So a good objective statement answers these questions. What positions are you applying for? And what are your main qualifications? What are your career goals? What's your professional identity? Fine. So is this a good objective statement? I would like to ask the viewers. An internship allowing me to utilize my knowledge and expertise in different areas. Fine. It looks very simple, and many do not find fault with it. But actually it raises many questions. Well written, but raises too many questions. It's very ambiguous. For example, this objective, if we find in a resume, it should raise what kind of internship, at what knowledge, what kinds of expertise, in which areas. For these questions, there is no answer in this randomly chosen objective. So, such randomly chosen objectives picked up from casual sources should never be used. It has to be very specific. Fine. So is this, once again, a test? Is this a good objective statement? Please read it. IT graduate looking for a position in a prestigious company where I can utilize my skills. What type of skills? What position? Not mentioned. So it's purely ambiguous. This is too generic and does not serve any purpose at all. Instead, here is an example of a good career objective. Here you can see it. Highly motivated IT graduate with so-and-so CGPA percentage looking to fill a position as a management assistant. Here, what is the designation or job profile you want to choose, or you want to apply as per the job description JD? It is clearly mentioned, and the organization also at ABC Corp. So position and company both are clearly mentioned. Please go. Willing to use strong data analysis and management skills for achieving better results. So as a highly motivated IT graduate, what is the position? Position is clearly mentioned. for which organization is he willing to work, that's mentioned. What are the exact skills the candidate is going to use, even that is also clearly mentioned. So it should never be a generic casual one picked up from any source. It should answer all these questions. That is the reason what I personally advise students is your resume and your answers in interview skills are dynamic. They are not static. We are not going to use the same resume for all kinds of jobs. The reason is, according to the job description, our resume slightly changes and it is updated as per the job description of that specific company. The candidate or an engineering student or any student is supposed to change and update as per the requirement and prepare the resume as per the job description and then make it final. A common randomly picked up objective is not going to be static. Permanently it's not going to be, it should never be used for all types of job profiles, all types of placement drives for all companies. So it may need some change according to the job description of the company. So when you go through the job description which you might receive in your emails when a campus placement is scheduled, then you need to go through and carefully thoroughly read it and then understand, should you need any changes, you need to change the objective as well as some of the things in the resume. So objective, so reflect on your overall qualifications and career goals. In what ways are they typical and unique? And research individual employers. Employers means organization in your field. In what ways are employees alike, or are they different? Do they expect something different? So questions about you, it shall answer. What are your main qualifications, exact strengths, skills, exact precise skills and areas of expertise that you should mention. So what positions or type of positions are you seeking? Are you applying? This question should be answered in the objective clearly. So what are some of your professional goals? Goals should be very precise and clearly in a simple language. They should be mentioned in the objective. So students need to do some research on how to prepare a very good, clear, relevant objective rather than simply picking up from any source and using it for permanently for different organizations. It should not be done. So what type of organization or work setting are you most interested in? So questions about employers also it shall answer. What qualifications are most desired by employers in your field? Employers means organization or the MNC, whichever is offering you the job. What positions are available on the job market? What are they titled? So what are some goals of the organizations that interest you? All these things you can get in job description, JD. So what kinds of organizations are now hiring? Objective, keep it relevant to company's requirement, job descriptions. Make sure your skill is properly projected here. Use it to state the title of the job for which you are applying. Don't spend your time trying to state something just fancy to say. Use it to express a summary statement, accomplishment statement about what you have to offer the current organization or the prospective future employer. Never make a statement that addresses something you hope to gain for yourself. Such kinds of objectives, we generally, when we go through different resumes, there are some, a very few, I think. They use such expressions, please don't use them. Where I'll be something they would start and where I'll be able to gain more experience and utilize my skills. So that such expression should be avoided. At this point, the potential employer, that is the organization, cares about what they are going to get from you, not what you are going to get by joining the company. This small technical difference you understand. Let's see some sample objectives. To work in a vibrant learning ambience at Infosys where I can add value through my cloud computing expertise. Where he wants to work and with what expertise, it's clear here. Being good at coding in Java, would like to work as a developer in Wipro in a continuous learning platform. To secure a responsible career as a software programmer through my .NET expertise in Capgemini and make a significant contribution to the success of the company. This is slightly comprehensive. Now, one end of sentence, but it speaks volumes. Seeking a challenging career in the cybersecurity domain at Microsoft. When your expertise And when you have a very good experience, that itself, it matters. Even one and a half sentence, it matters. Looking for a challenging role as database management expert in Accenture. These are just some couple of sample objectives. An experienced candidate's objectives would look like this. Carefully observe a professional individual with the ability to follow established procedures and work under little or no supervision. So it is not a little. Little means negative in meaning. It means almost no supervision. Independently he can do anything. Aspiring to work as a software developer at ABC Technologies. You see the punctuation mark here. Offering technical expertise in programming analysis, application analysis, and design. See how precisely it is mentioned. Possess strong ability to develop application using what is the platform? C, C++, and Java based tools. So next one, seeking to advance a growing tech career as a software developer at TCS, which offers skills in application development and object-oriented languages to develop superior software applications and other core systems. So when you observe these experienced candidates' objectives, you can clearly differentiate and you can understand how an objective career objective statement should be prepared. It is not something that is randomly picked up from some source and straight away copied and pasted there. It should never be. Fine. I hope you all have understood what an career objective actually contains. So educational qualifications, the very next section. After the heading, next career objective, next it should be followed by educational qualification section only. Fine. Serial number, course, name of the institution, board or university, year of passing or duration, whatever it is, percentage or CGPA. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These 6 columns are mandatory for a candidate, for an engineering student or any student as a fresher to start applying for different companies. Why? The reason is you can randomly mix everything and you can put it into a paragraph. I do agree with it. But if it is in a tabular format, it would give a crystal clear picture of what is what. Course, name of the code, BTech, CSC, here specialization, college, or if you are directly a university student, you can definitely mention it. So affiliated to which university, JNTUH, and duration, if you have already passed, you can. Starting year and ending year, CGPA, you can. Intermediate or +2 MPC, which college, Board of Intermediate or CBSE, whatever it is, it shall be mentioned here, duration and CGPA. And some students miss or omit SSC. It should be mentioned actually. Some school or whatever the institution, affiliated to what, and duration and CGPA. This should be the picture of your educational qualifications. Educational qualifications should be mentioned only in reverse chronological order. What is meant by reverse chronological order? What is the latest qualification you have? Next, previously what you did. Next, previously what you did. So it should not start from SSC and intermediate and BTech. It should start from the latest qualification which you are pursuing or you have already completed. And then next, previously what you did. And then next, the last one is obviously secondary school certificate. So next comes technical skills. Include all relevant skills. Skills must be revised from company to company. That's what I say. You need to go through thoroughly with job description. According to the job description, what technical skills you have, which match, you need to do a small research on that and then pick up example technical skills, design software, whatever it is, AutoCAD, simulation software, MATLAB, whatever the skills you have, you can mention in very good clear bulleted list. Next comes projects. Title of the project, what is the objective of the project, what is the outcome of the project, in which platform did you use if it is relevant, what is the duration of the project, and what is your role. Sometimes depending on large projects, you can include what is the actual team size of the project also. You can keep the same title, same subheadings in a tabular format also if you think it is relevant. Why? The reason is title is clear, objective is also clear, what is outcome is also clear, which platform you did do that project, that is also clear. Duration is clear. Your role also is clear. If you can make it as a tabular format, that would look really wonderful and eye-soothing. You can put it in a convenient format you like. Next comes internships. Now, if a candidate or a student doesn't do or has not done any internship, you can omit that section. So internships, name of the company, place is also important sometimes, duration, what is the knowledge you acquired, any other related information depending on the specific internship you did. It depends, it slightly changes from type of internship you did. So according to that, anything relevant details you can mention. So if you did not do any internship, you can omit this section. Fine. Co-curricular, as the word says, co-curricular, related to any activities related to your education. It comes paper presentation, poster presentation, any seminars, any conferences you have attended, certification courses, all workshops you organized or attended. All these details you can mention in clear, nice bulleted list without selecting any gaudy fonts and all these things. If you think that you don't have any co-curricular activities to mention, you can avoid this section completely. Next, co-curricular, this section is entirely different from extracurricular. Extracurricular are not related to your academics. They can be sports, events attended, organized, international, national awards and rewards you received, NCC, NSS certifications, all these things come under generally in extracurricular. Memberships, if you don't have any memberships, you can omit this. International Association of Computer Science and Information Technology, IEEE, Computer Society, CSA, Computer Society of India. If you have any memberships other than example these things, any relevant memberships you can mention. If you do not have, you can completely omit this section. Next one, the last thing is personal profile. Purely optional. My dear students, please try to understand that this personal profile doesn't give any information, any useful information, relevant information to the company visiting. The reason is, if you really want to mention, you can mention, but father's name, not father name. If you are very particular of mentioning your father's name at the last, you can mention, there's nothing wrong, mother's name, but make sure this R and S followed, in between apostrophe. This grammar rule you should not omit. So address, if you want, you can mention. Languages known, also you can. Any alternative contact numbers, landlines, mobile, also you can. And please make a note that foreign countries, as per the latest trend, this is not necessary. This is a very important thing which I am adding. Avoid signing declarations at the end. I hereby declare that the facts given above are genuine to the best of my knowledge and belief. Why is there any need to sign an agreement? This is not a legal agreement. So somewhere 20 to 30 or 40 years back in type institutes, biodata format contained this. After that, it has been carried just like that, copied like that. This is actually not necessary. If you go through any relevant source in Google, any resume format, resume, ChatGPT, resume GPT is also AI-based resume builders are also available. 3K plus resume formats are also available. If you browse, definitely you will understand that this type of signing declarations practice is not at all existing. Purely it is optional. Still you want to, you can use, but it is unnecessarily you are making an agreement and signing unnecessarily. This can be avoided. So if you do not include this, you are not going to lose anything. So these type of agreements we see. All the information mentioned above in the resume is correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. Generally when we go through resumes, we see such things. All the details mentioned above are true and correct to the best of my knowledge and beliefs. This is not at all necessary. Up to here, even this is also optional, because what does a recruiter need? He needs your name, your mobile number, your LinkedIn profile, your email ID. That's enough. So he is bothered about what skills you have which can be utilized in that specific company, so that he can get all those skills and utilize to the best of his extent. So all these things are purely immaterial. They are not at all necessary. So you can avoid such things. Your signature on that, all these things are old 40 years back practice, so you can avoid. So finally, final resume checklist. Make sure your resume is polished, eye-soothing and presentable. Check it that your resume, it means resume, it is error-free, proof-free before making it final. Now you have many proofreading softwares also online. Your resume is direct, clear, and maximum 2 pages long. Only in an extraordinary situation it can go to third page. Your resume has enough white spaces and all margins are even, so it looks professional and easy to read. It definitely has a professional email, not a fancy one. So generally 30% of the students are tempted to use a fancy email ID which looks quite embarrassing and irrelevant on your resume. Please select a professionally very decent email ID and mention it. Your resume has the simple font and easy to read. Don't select complicated fonts. So simple fonts, Times New Roman, Arial, all these things. Headings in bold and comparatively larger font size. Headings in bold and they can be larger font size. Subheadings, one type of font and size, and rest of the resume, what all details contains, it contains entire content. It can belong to one specific font and size. And your resume does not include a title resume. Yes, nowadays we see. It's like if you mention on your resume, there are some incidents where just by looking at the word resume, they did not shortlist the student. Yes, it is like on your photograph you are writing, it's my photograph. So it's so ridiculous to write resume as a heading on your resume. Please avoid it. And it's not necessary. It goes in cover letter if you are asked to prepare a cover letter. Signature, this is also not necessary. It's used in cover letter. So personal information such as age, gender, height, marital status, or ethnic background, such details are not necessary. That's all. Thank you all.